Hello, everyone. A little impromptu live here. Well, we planned it out simply because I just met with Rachel Varga last week for my one-on-one skin consultation. And listen, I loved it so much. I love her so much. I wanted to bring her on today so you guys can know about it and hear about it and know about her and listen to all the great things that she has. And then we will definitely be bringing her back on. We already have it scheduled for her to come on for a live and a podcast. But today, I wanted you guys short introduction to Miss Rachel Varga. She is celebrity skincare expert. She just knows her stuff and she has helped me tremendously. She has an amazing podcast. Rachel, what's your podcast?
It's very simple. It's just the Rachel Varga podcast, and we talk all about body, mind, spirit, energy optimization for a higher level of beauty and radiance.
There we go. So, see, you can tell from just listening to her, she's amazing. So, Rachel, thanks for jumping on here today. And thank you so much for what you have done for me. So, that's what I want to talk about is just a little bit of what the one-on-one consultation was like, about your spring skin camp going on right now. I mean, first, give me a little blurb. We'll dive into this more on the podcast, but how'd you get started in this? You had some skincare issues of your own.
Yeah, I'd say in my mid-20s, I was actually interested in, after nursing, becoming a physician myself. So I wanted to work one-on-one with a surgeon, get to know the ins and outs of running a practice. And to do that was to get my foot in the door as an aesthetic nurse. And 10 years later, I found my passion, the skin, which is the largest organ of the body. I'm now double board certified in the Canada and US for boards. I'm a board certified aesthetic nurse specialist, over 20,000 procedures. And I just started to clue in a number of years ago just what my most vibrant and radiant clients were doing. And it was a balance of the body, mind, spirit, energy stuff. Also, of course, with what we're putting on our skin morning and evening, different rejuvenation treatments that can be done in amongst that, the balance of the at-home, the in-clinic stuff. And this is my passion. My true passion is really understanding radiance, how I can, of course, cultivate it for myself, and how
Right.
I can share that knowledge just based on what I see my most vibrant, radiant clients doing. So the virtual consultation that we did together, Amy, I'm really the only person doing it this way and the first. In fact, I'd go to conferences and say, I spend 60 to 75 minutes with each new client. And unfortunately, in medical aesthetics, most clinics are corporate owned now. So the bottom line is the bottom dollar. You're going to have like a free 15, 30-minute session with a consultant, a non-regulated healthcare practitioner. For the most part, I'm writing a paper on why I think that is not necessarily best practice. So yeah, I just love sitting down with you, hearing your skin goals, coming up with a very clear, concise plan for what you can do at home. We talked about dermal rolling. We talked about biohacking. We talked about women's health. Obviously, thyroid plays a huge
Yep.
part in our vibrancy and vitality. And then, what you could do in clinic, and gave you some recommendations for places to go and things to get and all of that. And then I'm like your secret best friend. Keep me in your back pocket anytime you have a skin question. The protocol I've outlined for you, if you have a question about using something, like I'm offering this type of service, which I think is just what everybody deserves.
It is. I mean, it really comes down to, so we do very similar things. When I sit down with
Yeah.
someone, it's that 90-minute in-depth, let's get to know you. Do you poop every day? Are you sleeping at night? All of those things that you need to know about a person to properly help them. So what I was amazed about when I worked with you is you do the same thing. You are my skincare guide. And I have said this over and over again. You know it. My audience knows it. I'll say it again. I am addicted to anti aging. That is my one addiction. I do not want to age. So we have to do things such as procedures, proper skincare to prevent that. And even though I am an addicted anti-ager, I haven't really known what I was doing in terms of skincare. I would be the one that if an Instagram ad popped up promising to get rid of my wrinkles, I would click the buy button. And then I would get it and it would just be garbage or be loaded with garbage. I forgot to check the ingredients. So what I loved and love about working with you and doing the one-on-one consultation is you spent time with me and actually got to know what I'm using and what my goals are. We went through everything.
I
It
love
was just
going through my clients' skincare products that they're using. And actually, I have a background in Gen Chem, Organic Chem, and Biochem. So I'm like as nerdy as they come. And I'll go through your products with you and, go on the manufacturer's website, look at it, every ingredient. And sometimes there's products that, okay, sure, you can work through that, but maybe let's redirect you to something that will actually address your mature skin needs, not just be super clean, but also be super clean, but effective. And then sometimes I'll find ingredients like BPA, nitrates, DNA, tin, all obviously parabens, phthalates, sulfates, artificial dyes, fragrances. I don't work with any of that stuff, but I actually get a lot out of going through my clients' skincare products that they're using and seeing what, a lot of these big brands are putting in their products. And then I'll actually make a podcast on it, be like, this is the ingredient I found this week and why it's not so good for you. So it's actually really fun. And then you get to know, okay, what can you work through so that you're not wasting your money?
Right.
And then maybe what you absolutely need to stop using that could actually be messing with your hormones and your thyroid.
Right. And it's a confusing world out there. I mean, it is really confusing. So just like I kind of dive into, and I'll talk about this on the podcast, the good and bad supplements, and don't buy your supplements from Amazon and all of that.
Totally. Same with your skincare.
Same with your skincare. It's the same thing.
The counterfeit beauty industry is just as bad as the supplement and makeup and hair care. You don't know what you're buying, so you have to be very careful. Also, who you're supporting these days.
Yeah, there's that too, right? And like same with supplements. Who bought the company? Did Nestle buy them out? And what kind of quality do you think you're going to get? So you're in the know on that end. And it's the same. Again, we parallel each other. It's the same thing, just in a different industry. But I look at skincare and I'll pick up a bottle and I have no idea. I mean, we've all seen the lists of what to avoid, but how many of us have flipped over the ball and went, oh man, wait, is that one on the list? Oh, there's so many things on here. I don't know. It kind of looks okay. Well, it says it's organic. I guess that's what I'll use.
It says it's all natural.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And one thing you point out to me that is so true is as our skin matures. So what would you say mature skin is? Over 35?
Yeah, I'd say that your mid 30s, well, the skin goes through a huge shift between age 37 to 41. Hormones are changing. That's usually the age group where my clients will almost say overnight they felt like their elastin and collagen just like dropped off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the ages of 50 to 60, there's actually a study on this. Women's faces change shape 3 times faster than men's between the ages of 50 to 60 because of obviously menopause. So yeah, I mean, I started to notice in my mid 20s bumps on my forehead, acne, pigmentation, sun damage. I did sun booths when I was in my late teens. Goodness forbid. So yeah, I definitely say like 30, 35, but I actually really like working with my clients and their daughters to make sure that their kids aren't going into these big box, big Cosmo stores and picking up products that are toxic and far too overpriced for what they need and start to develop healthy skin habits.
Yep, exactly. So one thing you said to me is, and it's so true because I've kind of picked up on this, that as we age, those natural organic products don't work so well on more mature skin. And when you start to see that crepiness, when you start to get the fine lines and wrinkles, that's where you want to use something that's a little bit stronger, but not stronger in the chemical sense. We're not talking about putting more chemicals in. We're talking about targeting the wrinkles. And one thing I discussed with Rachel is I don't do well with Retin-A. And that's one of the big things that we've heard for decades. Retin-A, it'll help your wrinkles, it'll help your acne. My skin freaks out. And Rachel totally got me.
I'm the same way. It's fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not like you tried to push something harsh, but we found what is going to work with my skin. And then you laid out a plan to gradually introduce different things. So it's not, oh yeah, just put this on all at once and deal with, a breakout or being all red and dry.
Yeah, that's a good point. And one of my methods is we want to initially sort of like whisper to the skin and stabilize it with just like a basic at-home skincare protocol. Cleanser, moisturizer, sunscreen scrub to meet your skin goals and also your lifestyle, your values, and your budget. I work with retirees to celebrities and everybody in between. So just let me know what that is looking like for you, and
Yep.
I'll be your guide. So we want to whisper to it, stabilize it. Then we want to talk to it with sometimes like copper peptides, hyaluronic acid, lactic acid, sometimes a little bit of like a more gentle form of retinol, vitamin B, glutathione, all sorts of good things. And then we can have the conversation with it, which is like your dermal rolling, your at home peels. Personally, I actually do about 90% home care and only about 10% in clinic. And a number of years ago, it was more like 60% in clinic, 40% home care. But it's
Mhm.
also because I've layered into the mix biohacking and really intentional eating habits. So the biohacking to help you figure out like what foods are ideal for you. Basically, when you have your inflammation as low as possible, which you can achieve through different lifestyle options, biohacking options, body, mind, spirit, energy practices,
Mhm.
that's when you're going to get the best skin of your life. And then being really intentional with what you're doing at home in the morning and evening, different at home treatments like peels and dermal rolling. There's a specific device I recommend. Skin optimized supplements like skin optimized antioxidants, omegas, collagen, not the ones you're finding on your social media advertisements that are brand new.
Right.
We're talking formulations that have been third party independent lab tested for 15, 30 years.
Right. Right. Exactly. Very important. Very important. And the other thing that I loved is you even got into, like you said, the devices. So I think a lot of us think and believe mistakenly that we have to go to a plastic surgeon's office, a dermatologist's office, or a med spa in order to get really effective treatments. You always hear about things that push the ingredients into the skin, and we go, "Oh, that sounds really good." Well, who wants to drop 600, 1,000, 2,000 in an office when you could do a very effective alternative at home? And from what you told me and what you laid out for me, there are very effective alternatives to do at home.
Yeah, so I do have a short list of specific lasers and energy device options that I like. There's like 100 lasers on the market. There's really only two or three that I would actually trust with myself and my clients.
Okay.
There's a lot of ways to waste money in clinics. Unfortunately, I teach a lot of doctors and nurses internationally. I write academic papers on rejuvenation and all this stuff. But there is a short list of ways to improve hyperpigmentation, so sun damage, red acne scars, broken capillaries. There's also really great in-clinic option for promoting collagen and elastin texture, all that. And then there are sometimes some non-surgical injectable options, but not every practitioner out there is advanced to really know the specific nuances of really how to maximize some of these options. And also, simply put, some of those other non surgical options just aren't in alignment with what a lot of my clients want and need
Mhm.
in accordance with their budget, their lifestyle, their values, and all of that.
Right.
We do have to be careful with some of the at home DIY stuff. So, actually, a couple of years ago at a big plastic surgery conference, um, my colleagues and I, we all decided to actually take off all of our videos offline on how to do different rejuvenation treatments because what we were finding were these influencers who are here to influence you were actually watching those videos and then making content on that. And then people were having all sorts of issues, like with hyaluron pen, which is like high pressure
Mhm.
hyaluronic acid device. There's so many counterfeit products out there. So I'm very specific with what you can do at home and then what you should do in the clinic. And then I won't really say publicly which options I think are not great because I don't want to put like certain practitioners and their clinics down. But when you work with me one on one, when you take my seasonal skin camps, right now, spring skin camps happening, that's where I'm really honest and really off the cuff. And you pay me
Mhm.
for that information. I'd be more than willing to give it to you. And every
Yep.
season, there's something that we should actually be focusing on. So right now, I did my body chemical peel last night using
Woo!
a lactic acid based product, did a chemical peel on my face last week. And my skin is just like, don't know if you can see it, but it's as glassy as anything. So we're doing these things now for the spring to get the face, neck, chest, hands, and the body on point to show more arms, to show more legs and things like that. So it's pretty cool. Every season there's a different focus. There's always new things that I'm sharing with my clients.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So spring skin camp is going on
SpringSkinCamp.com.
now.
Yep. Yeah, you can register at SpringSkinCamp.com. And I'd love to meet with you tuning into the session here with Dr. Amy Horniman and I. Use promo code DRAmy for 15% off of your one-on-one with me that you can book at rachelvarga.ca. I'd love to meet with you and give you your at-home and an in-clinic plan and become your secret best friend.
And I highly recommend it. And thank you for giving everybody that discount. That's amazing of you. And we will put that in the show notes or in the little comment section as well. But we're definitely having Rachel back on, I think about in a month or so. And you'll be back on live, and we'll also turn that into a podcast, and you and I will deep dive so much more. We're going to talk about, one big question I always get is, are Botox and the fillers healthy for people with Hashimoto? So don't answer. We're going to hold that until
I got an opinion on that. In fact, I've actually written in multiple academic papers, my last 3 academic papers, on this very topic, because it's something not enough practitioners know about. And there's also alternatives and cleaner options and things like that. So you don't have to sacrifice things, and still be in accordance with what's important to you. And yeah, everybody tune into the Rachel Varga podcast and listen to Dr. Amy Horniman and I talking all about the thyroid and the skin and how important those connections are.
Definitely. And we'll link to your podcast in the notes too. But Rachel, I just wanted to bring you on. I wanted to thank you for taking such good care of me in my one-on-one consultation. So I am also part of the Spring Skin Camp as well. So I invite you guys to join me in there and definitely book a one-on-one with Rachel. It is beyond worth it. And the way that I look at it, I don't think I mentioned this to you, Rachel, either, but the amount that I waste on skincare and a variety of it, I'm going to make that back tenfold working with you, because now we're narrowing it down. Now I'm only going to be spending my money on products that work for me, instead of having this slew of products in my bathroom, which I have right now. They're all going to get thrown out. Some of it's not even open. Some I just bought because it was on sale. Now it's gone old. So I have wasted more money than what I have spent. That's for sure. Yeah.
I'm also that one person that, if you see those social media ads for that new bright, shiny object, email me, info@rachelvarga.ca, and let me know what you're seeing. Because sometimes I'll make podcast episodes on some of the gimmicks that are brought to my attention to help to save you from falling prey. We have to be very conscious of what we're consuming these days in literally every aspect of our lives. So if we can get you to save some money, get you to pare down your routine, be more intentional, create less waste, expose yourself to less toxins, I sleep very well at night.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for your time today, Rachel. I'm so happy you jumped on. This is a great little nugget for my listeners, all my peeps. So we will have you on in another month or so, but until then, definitely check out Rachel's site, book a one-on-one with her, and join the Spring Skin Camp. All right. Take care.
Thank you.